I'm the head of the psychology department at the university, and my name is Kate Bullen. Psychology has a number of schemes, and the most popular being single honours psychology. And with single honours psychology, the students are entirely taught within the psychology department. And the scheme aims to provide students with a broad-based understanding of the principles of psychology and then how it's actually used in the real-world environment. So it's very much about learning about the theory and then applying it in practice. Psychology students are an interesting bunch. They have an intrinsic interest in other human beings and a desire to understand what makes people tick. And that would be the reason why they'd want to study it at university. Many students who come to us will have studied psychology at A level and been bitten by the bug and want to carry on with doing it afterwards at university level. But for a large number of students too, I would say probably about a third of our students that we have, they haven't had the opportunity to study psychology before. So psychology is the first at university, and with us is the first chance that those students have had to study the subject. So I guess if you've got a natural interest in human beings, an inquiring mind, and the ability to live and handle uncertainty and the fact that not every answer is clear-cut, even though we might like it to be, then psychology is a subject that you would probably enjoy at university. So what we do in the first year of the scheme, because we don't ask for anybody to have A-level psychology as an entry requirement, we assume that people don't know anything about psychology, and we take everybody back to basics. So that by the end of the first year, regardless of whether students have done psychology before or haven't done psychology before, they will actually all be at the same level. And then we can use that as a springboard into the second and third years of their degrees. In your second year, you'll be building on what you have done in your first year, and you'll be studying social psychology, biological psychology, research methods, lifespan development, individual differences, and cognitive psychology when you'll be looking at issues such as language and memory and so forth. They also choose then in their final year to take modules from a range of different options, which might include health psychology, psychology of aging, music psychology, psychology of language, the critical self and so forth. And as new members of staff join the department, we're adding more options into the final year. They vary. It depends very much on whether you're coming in with A-levels or whether you're coming in with some alternative qualification. But in terms of A-levels, we're expecting students to have at least 280 points at A-level. That has to include points from at least 2 A-levels, and one of the A-levels has to be achieved at a B grade. We also expect students to have achieved a C grade in mathematics and also C grade in English or Welsh. Well, psychology is in a unique position really. It's a science subject, but it's got a very broad reach. So it means that students at the end of doing their degree will have a raft of very focused psychological skills in terms of research methods and design. They'll be very adept at using statistical tests and methods, using software such as the statistical package for social sciences. Apart from what we teach them in the classroom environment, we also encourage students to develop a raft of skills in terms of their employability. So many of our assignments and pieces of coursework are specifically designed to help students to develop those more soft or skills. So team working, communication, presentation, so that when they leave, not only do they have a degree, they also have a comprehensive portfolio of skills which they can take with them into whatever their postgraduate life will entail. Often students come into psychology thinking that they're going to be a psychologist, and in fact relatively few students do actually go on to become psychologists. The vast majority of students who do psychology degrees use their degree as an extremely accessible qualification, and they go into a range of different activities and professions, and that could be in teaching, marketing, HR, sales, management, the criminal justice service, probation, prison, teaching. It's very diverse and very unusual on times too. We've recently moved into a new building, and we have a comprehensive research unit in the ground floor, and there we have a sensory isolation chamber where it's possible to actually identify or focus in on hearing or smell or vision without distraction from exterior noise. We have EEG and stress monitoring and a biopsychology kitchen, a range of individual testing cubicles which students can use, and a psychology computer suite which has got state-of-the-art software and state-of-the-art kit, which allows us to work in a very flexible way when we're teaching research methods and statistics to our students. I think the year that they tend to find most enjoyable is their final year. It's the culmination of their time with us, and I think within that year the highlight for many students is actually doing their final year project. It's hard work, it's challenging, but it's ultimately very satisfying, and the look of pride and achievement that students actually have when they submit their final year project and they produce an extremely smart looking poster is one of the high points in the academic year for us, I think, as members of staff. We have a strong employability thread running through the degree because we appreciate the fact that students are investing in their education and that they want to know that they're going to get some kind of return on that. So in the first year, the students do a professional personal development planning module where they're starting to look at the skills which they need to develop in order to move into graduate entry jobs. In the second year, we get them to do a psychology and practice module, and we expect all students to do 20 hours of placement during that time. And in the final year then, we have a new module which will be starting, we hope, next year, which looks at entrepreneurship and enterprise in psychology, which will be looking at consultancy and the generation of problems by outside agencies and how psychology students can work together in teams to come up with applied psychology focused solutions to those particular problems.